Did you know that the Benin Kingdom was once a British empire? The Kingdom of Benin began in the 90s when the Edo people settled in the rainforest of West Africa. They lived in small family groups. These family groups populated and became a powerful kingdom that was known then as Igodomigodo Kingdom. This great kingdom was ruled by several kings known as the Ojisos, which means rulers of the sky. With their great warriors, the kingdom conquered nearby lands in battle and won more tributes. Wealth began to spread, and the kingdom began to attract more visitors from far and wide. Soon, craftsmen, carpenters, cloth makers, and bronze sculptures moved into the land to show what they represent. From there, the art of the kingdom grew even more. Words continued to spread as the kingdom began to receive visitors from across the sea, the Europeans. The Europeans, seeing that the kingdom was blessed with art and resources, established a relationship with the Benin Kingdom. They traded ivory and palm oil in exchange for guns and brass manila, which was used as money during those days, until 1800, when the British became more forceful and wanted to gain dominance over the whole Benin Kingdom. Oba of Orangwen Obasi, who was ruling the Benin Kingdom at that time, became worried as the Europeans began to subdue neighboring lands, so he began to restrict trade. This made the Europeans so furious, they began to look for ways to attack the land. They came up with a plan to compel the Oba to sign an agreement that would favor only them and give them full control of the Benin Kingdom, which he turned down. In 1892, the Europeans sent a diplomat named Henry Galway, not only to obtain a signed treaty, but to make the Europeans overseers of the Benin Kingdom. He approached the Oba with an agreement that would mean the end of his democracy. Though the Oba did not understand the context of the agreement in his hand, he refused to sign, but nevertheless he allowed others to sign on his behalf, giving the British rights to trade on their lands again. Unknowing to the Oba that he had signed such an agreement, continued to receive tributes from traders. The British saw this as a violation of their agreement, so they began to send warnings to the Oba to stop or face their wrath. In 1896, acting consul General James Philip decided to take matters into his hands. He decided that the ivory in the palace of the Oba will be used to make up for their trade losses, so he set out to meet the Oba. Unfortunately for him, this season happened to be the same season of the Agwe festival, a season which the Oba is not allowed to be in the presence of non-indigenes, so his request was turned down. The Oba further advised Philip to come back in a month's time as he will not be received during this period. But Philip never heeded to this warning as he continued his journey nevertheless. The Oba sent a second warning to Philip, telling him to turn back as this period is sacred to them. But Philip ignored the Oba and continued his journey. This resulted into a very catastrophic conflict that led to loss of lives. Out of the 250 men that Philip brought with him, only two escaped with their lives. Now, the British had the reasons they needed to attack the Benin Kingdom, claiming that their own people were attacked for no reason, so they decided to retaliate. They brought with them 2,500 heavily armed men. Obviously, the Kingdom of Benin was conquered, and the British looted all the treasures in the palace of the Oba and took over the kingdom completely. The Oba fled the kingdom and later surrendered after 6 months. He was exiled to Calabar and never to return. Meanwhile, six of his chiefs were hanged publicly as example to the Benin people. In 1914, the Oba passed on, though another Oba was instated at that time, but the British still oversee the activities of the kingdom until 1960, when Nigeria gained independence and the Benin Kingdom became a part of Nigeria. I'm Boss Made. See you on the next one. I beg, support my page. I beg. This video took me 2 days to research on this topic. I beg, support me. I beg. Cry, I beg.